I just don't know how to.
Hi everyone, I'm here with another episode of Shayar's Voice, and today I have with me Momina. To introduce Momina, she recently Tony, she did her master's in journalism from NYU on a Fulbright scholarship, and that has been a purpose of my podcast and my platform to feature millennials who kind of achieve something on scholarships or something else. So and I've been after her for a long time for a podcast. And usse pehle Momina went to LUMS. That's another aspect of her journey. And right now, I assume she's in Pakistan, working somewhere around media and journalism scene. So let's begin. Momina, kaisi hain aap? How are you?
Allah ka shukar, aap sunaye. Completely
मैं
all right.
I'm
It's absolutely
yeah.
absolutely pleasant in Islamabad at the moment, so I'm very happy
Are
because
you
बहुत
being
शदीद गर्मी चल रही थी यहाँ पे.
अच्छा मुझे लगा आप sarcastic हो रही हैं क्योंकि I have heard कि
No,
पाकिस्तान में बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी हुई है.
हो रही है, and out of nowhere they said there would be a heat wave, but out of nowhere it's raining in Islamabad, and it's just crazy.
I feel like that's the advantage of Islamabad ना क्योंकि कराची के अंदर तो मतलब there's no way out ना. कराची तो is gonna be hell
For
for
sure.
I don't know like August September tak. But yeah, if I go back in summers as well, I'm gonna go through that as well. But yeah, so coming on to our topic for today, I just want to
Mm-hmm.
begin with because I've been I'm still not there yet, but I've been someone who always wanted to do journalism,
Mm-hmm.
but was sent to LUMS because LUMS is apparently the Harvard of Pakistan, और मुझे LUMS भेज दिया और मैंने LUMS से पढ़ाई भी कर ली. I did my
Mm-hmm.
bachelor's in accounting and finance, but I was never into my
Mm-hmm.
degree. I was more into
Mm-hmm.
political science and Gurmani school के courses and journalism and all of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
आपने अपनी जिंदगी के साथ ऐसा क्यों करा कि आप जर्नलिज्म परस्यू कर रही हैं? पैसे हैं नहीं, सेंसरशिप है, मसले हैं. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Yeah, so my parents wanted me to be a doctor, and it was a huge thing. मैंने FSC किया, अच्छे number लिए, and then I started preparing for the MCAT, whatever, if that's what it's called. But like in my heart, I knew this was never what I wanted to do. I did not know exactly what I wanted to do. मुझे बस कहानियां लिखनी थी और लोगों से मिलना था, उनसे बातें करनी थी. So लेकिन obviously that doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Unless आप उसको थोड़ा journalistic बना दें. But anyway, I just really wanted to listen to people and the experiences सुन लो बैठ के. बस मुझे यही चीजें अच्छी लगती थी. And then um, I got into LUMS. वो बस एक random सी चीज थी जो मैंने apply किया था. My parents never thought that I would actually go. Um, and then I didn't even know what LUMS offered. Like मुझे बिल्कुल when I started LUMS, I had no idea कि वहाँ क्या majors होते हैं. And I just got in. Like मैंने LCAT के लिए बहुत पढ़ा और मेरा admission हो गया. And then उसके बाद भी काफी back and forth with my amma abba, but eventually my dad was like, if she wants to go to LUMS she can. So then I ended up at LUMS. वहां जाके मैंने कहा कि मैं इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ूंगी, लेकिन फिर मुझे एक ही कोर्स के बाद रियलाइज हुआ कि भाई ये चीज तो मुझे बिल्कुल नहीं समझ आ रही. And then मुझे भी as you said, you went to political science, so I took a couple of political science courses, and I was like, अच्छा ठीक है, ये चीज है that I enjoy, that I like. And in my first year, I joined the LUMS Daily Student, which is the
Oh, okay.
journalist
Yeah.
society at LUMS, or journalism
Yeah.
society at LUMS, whatever you call it. Because again, as I said, मुझे बस लिखना था और लोगों से बातें करनी थी, and that gave me that. तो वो मैंने शुरू किया वहां से, and I was just like, oh, this is something that I like, and political science is very closely linked to journalism in some ways. So why not? लेकिन उसके बावजूद my parents never said it to me, but मैंने अपने ऊपर ये सवाल की हुई थी चीज कि अगर मैं LUMS आ गई हूँ लड़ के, तो I should study something of importance. तो
जी.
मुझे लगा कि मैं इकोनॉमिक्स एंड पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ती हूँ. उस वक्त मुझे लगता था कि शायद यही चीजें ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंस हैं. Obviously a lot has changed since then. I
Yeah.
think I completely wasted my potential studying economics, but anyway, so I did economics and political science. But throughout I was working in the journalism society. Like मैंने 4 साल उस पे काम किया. That was the only society probably that I was in. बाकी मुझे खास इतना interest नहीं था. And then usme, you get to meet journalists, because there was this LUMS journalism, which was a big flop, by the way. But I tried doing this journalism festival thing. and a
वो
few
अभी भी होता
journalists.
है आई गेस विंटर्स में ना एलियस
I hope not. I think that's karma. That's karma.
या आई थिंक दैट्स कार्मा एलियस का कोई एक इवेंट
That's
होता था
karma.
हमारे टाइम पे या ओके
Yeah. No, this only happened like a couple of times. क्योंकि पहली दफा ही मैंने इतना बुरा किया था कि the legacy was just too bad to
ओके
carry on.
सही
Anyway, so I did that. I met a few journalists, and you get inspired, and you're like, अच्छा हाँ यही चीज मुझे अब करनी है. And then in my third year, I started freelancing with the cultural journal. I started writing for them. मुझे पैसे भी मिलते थे, so I was like, this is cool stuff. Um, and then eventually when I graduated, तो फिर तब तक मुझे काफी realize हो गया था कि मैंने यही चीज करनी है. तब मुझे कोई खास realities का नहीं पता था, इसलिए सेट के जी पैसे नहीं है या blah blah blah. My first job was at Mango Bars. It was a lot of fun because I was doing a lot of new things. आपकी पहली job है, you're getting the money was really meager to be very honest, but it was still money regardless. पहले आपको कहाँ ही मिलते थे पैसे. So I was also having fun. I was acting, I was writing for them, I was just doing new things with them. So it was interesting for a while. And then I think after that I really struggled to sort of find my niche in the industry. I don't know what I was doing because Mango
आई
was just
हेट
not
दैट आई हेट दैट वर्ड नीश मुझे वो
yeah.
लफ्ज ही पसंद नहीं है
But it's
it's
the
very
truth.
yeah
It's the truth. Like, I had no because with Mango Buzz I was doing all sorts of things, and then my portfolio was just all over. I did not know कि मैंने क्या job करनी है. Do I want to do hardcore journalism? मैं कर भी सकती हूँ कि नहीं, मेरा temperament है या नहीं. I just feel like I am the kind of person, there are people in the world who are really passionate about things, and I am just the kind of person who just like, "Achha, this is the kind of thing that I can tolerate and maybe sometimes enjoy, so I will do this." So
yeah
I think journalism was that for me. And over the years, I have finally found that place in the industry where I feel like, oh shit, this is what I should have done all along. But obviously, there was no other way to find out. This is the only, like, I had to take this entire journey or whatever. Like, itna bhi kuch khas mushkil nahi tha, but you know what I mean. And then, so as I said, I struggled to sort of find my beat, if you must. And then I worked here and there. Also worked as a storybook writer for children in low SES communities. It was fun for a while, but then I was like, this is not what I want to do. And then I worked with my one of my friends. He runs this portal called Galaxy Hollywood. He's been running it for many years. And he was like, making it big. So he wanted an editor, and he said, why don't you come on board? We can work from home. It's very flexible. So that worked for me because I was also applying for grad schools, and I needed all the space I could get mentally and physically. So that's something I think that really taught me a lot, because I was working as an editor. I was managing a team of freelancers. I was coming up with editorial guidelines for them. Just a year ago, I had an editor, and so आप बहुत सारी चीजें सीखते हो. You're forced to learn a lot of things. You're forced to work with teams. You're forced to understand कि ये चीज चलेगी, ये चीज नहीं चलेगी, या आपने कहाँ वो balance ढूंढना है. आपने सिर्फ audience की सुननी है, या आपने audience को भी बताना है कि हमारी भी सुने. So all of those things, audience engagement, understanding that, and sort of like celebrity news is mostly Lollywood news, because it was Galaxy Lollywood, it was all about Lollywood. It's mostly उसकी common perception ये है कि भी gossip होगी उसमें, इसके बारे में कोई बात होगी, इसके बारे में कोई बात होगी, just to sort of मेरे जहन में भी वही idea था in the beginning. That's why I was a bit hesitant. But when I got on board, I realized there's so many things you can do, so many themes you can explore. We explored things like the word conjure, why it has such negative connotations attached to that, and then उस तरह की चीजें ढूंढना, फिर उन पे जो है वो बात करना, and you realize that there's so much to be explored, but people just boggle up
exactly
celebrity gossip,
yeah.
right? So I
I
mean
think
वो भी
that's
करना पड़ता है.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah I think that's more relevant to मैं भी वही आपको थोड़ा इंटरचेक करने वाला था the clickbait culture especially हमारी entertainment news के अंदर जो clickbait culture है कि उसने उसकी चाय पी ली उसने उसके साथ ये कर दिया and I'm not an expert in this field but I feel like we borrow it from Bollywood obviously क्योंकि we look up to India as a let's say not a rival but everything that India does has eventually comes to Pakistan right
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I remember I was interning for this digital publication as well and उनका एक lifestyle
Yeah.
brand उनका एक lifestyle branch थी एंड उसमें उन्होंने
Yeah.
मुझे बोला कि आप ना आर्टिकल्स लिखें, और उन दिनों के अंदर आई एम नॉट श्योर उस सबा कमर वाली कंट्रोवर्सी हुई थी, उनकी वो
The masjid one.
द मस्जिद वन, एंड
Yeah,
उन्होंने
yeah.
कहा कि अब हालांकि इट्स नॉट इट्स इट डजंट हैव टू बी अंडर एंटरटेनमेंट, इट्स समथिंग एल्स, इट्स एंटायरली समथिंग एल्स, लेकिन जस्ट टू वो बस व्यूज कंटेंट क्लिकबेट के लिए, बस सबा कमर का नाम होगा तो अगला क्लिक कर देगा. और आई स्टिल
Absolutely.
रिमेम्बर वर्डप्रेस, आप लोगों ने शायद वर्डप्रेस जो मेजॉरिटी पाकिस्तान में यूज होता है, अक्रॉस द ग्लोब यूज होता है, उसमें जब वो
That is such a diaspora
वो
kid
या आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं?
use hota hai. But please go on.
Like I'm not a diaspora भाई, मैं तो खैर अभी
I'm
मुझे सिर्फ
just
6 महीने
I'm
हुए
just
हैं.
putting you like, yeah.
या सो वो जो पिक्चर होती है, I'm forgetting the name, वो जो हम ऊपर पिक्चर डालते हैं उसकी एक टेक्निकल टर्म होती है, राइट? तो वो इतनी
Yeah.
वियर्ड किस्म की तस्वीरें आती थी ना वर्डप्रेस गैलरी के अंदर, हालांकि आर्टिकल है, आई डोंट नो, पता नहीं
The
किसी
cover photo, yeah.
the cover, the thumbnail, basically the thumbnail
Yeah.
of
Yeah, yeah.
the picture as well. And that was my first ever interaction with Pakistani journalism scene. And you mentioned mango bars, or mango bars के बारे में मुझे पूछना था कि because like in our limits के I feel like mango bars was that one thing जो digital के अंदर बहुत जल्दी आ गया था, and हमारे digital scene के अंदर.
Megabus Megabus was a digital media platform. It
Yeah.
started as a digital media platform and touted itself as a digital media platform. I think a common misperception, a common वो ये है कि misunderstanding, I would say, कि a lot of people thought it was a journalistic outlet, but it was never a
No,
journalistic
it was
outlet.
never a journalism. Yeah.
And they never claimed
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
a journalistic outlet. It was
Yeah.
just people were like, oh, journalism को बदनाम कर रहे हैं. I
नहीं,
understand,
हाँ.
like, and I hear the criticism, honestly.
Yeah.
I had my own reservations as well, but it was, I think if you want to criticize it, at least criticize it, um मतलब
On
उसको
its content.
आप हाँ essentially आप उस पे बात करें, आप एक चीज को अटैक करें, that it's not even it, right? You're saying, oh, it has tainted journalism or whatever, but it was never a journalistic outlet. It was a platform that created content for millennials. That's what it called itself for, and that's what it was. So yeah.
But I feel like things like mango bars and things like, फिर mango bars के बाद और बहुत सारे आ गए, अब तो पता नहीं बहुत सारे आ गए हैं, उर्दू पॉइंट, नया पाकिस्तान, और पता नहीं क्या क्या.
Urdu Point is a digital native. They've been around
Yeah.
way longer than any of these platforms. Urdu Point has been there
उर्दू
from day one.
पॉइंट, siyaasat.pk I guess, और इस तरह के जितने सारे
Yeah.
blogs और pro
See,
पाकिस्तानी.
most of them,
Yeah.
ये जो उर्दू वाले हैं ना, उर्दू पॉइंट और ये सियासत वाला जो आप बता रहे हैं, these most of them are digital natives. वो बहुत पहले से हैं.
अच्छा. I
Yeah.
think फिर
They've been around
हमारी
for a long
like
time.
हमारा इंटरेक्शन उनसे बाद में जाके हुआ है, जब
Absolutely.
जब उन्होंने अपने प्लेटफॉर्म्स को यूज करना शुरू करा है. But like for me, someone who always wanted to be a journalist, और जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे तो हमारे लिए जर्नलिज्म, हमारे लिए क्या होता था, बड़े बड़े एंकर्स होते थे, राइट? I'm not sure if you've heard it or not, but when you would tell people कि मैं like I'm doing masters in journalism from NYU, मुझे तो ये बहुत मिलता है कि आपने क्या हामिद मीर बनना है, आपने क्या काशिम अब्बासी बनना है.
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, exactly, right? क्योंकि and they don't realize कि these anchors, they never except for a few, इन्होंने कभी जर्नलिज्म पढ़ा नहीं है. इन्होंने पॉलिसा, इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ा, डिफरेंट चीजें ट्राई करी, फिर ये एंकर्स बन गए, राइट? बट टू स्टडी जर्नलिज्म is something else, right? It's just like,
I think journalism जो है ना, it's something that's honestly, in my personal opinion, is learned on the field, on the job. आपको जरूरत नहीं है उसकी डिग्री लेने की in particular. Sure, it equips you with some basic tools and skills and gives you a head start, but honestly, you don't necessarily have to study it to make something out of it. And जो मेरी डिग्री थी, it was not like directly like मैं journalism उस तरह से पढ़ने नहीं गई थी कि मैं journalism सीखने गई थी, या my degree was more like innovation in journalism, adapting journalism to the available technology, just making it more sustainable. So it was all about that. And absolutely, that I think I really, although when I was applying for this particular program, मेरे ज़हन में जो है वो digital media था, मेरे ज़हन में new media था, that. And I applied to study new media, and this 2 to 20 program that I went for at NYU um, that was all about new media. But when I actually got there, the degree was completely different than what I had expected it to be. Like complete, it took me a month to actually understand what my degree was all about, right? But I
Yeah,
am so glad that that's the program that I went for, because it just completely put me on a different path, in a path that I should have been on पहले से ही, because
पहले
this
से.
is what I enjoy doing the most. मुझे
Yeah,
मुझे मुझे realize मुझे मुझे लगा था शायद मैं passionate ही नहीं हूँ journalism के बारे में, मतलब शायद this was the, as I said, कि बस मैं tolerate कर रही हूँ इसको. It's more tolerable than any other job in the world. But later I realized that I was just in the wrong side of on the wrong side of the industry, right? I was trying to be on the wrong side of the industry. मुझे media development, innovation in journalism, इस तरह की चीजें ज्यादा करनी थी. These are the kind of things that I enjoy more, and I'm so glad that I got to study that and then actually apply it
yeah.
here.
I think I researched about that program as well, and बहुत पहले भी हमारी एक दफा बात हुई थी. I think I messaged you on Facebook or something asking about Fulbright
Mm-hmm.
scholarships. And the thing is कि digital की जब बात आती है हमारे यहाँ people are मतलब पाकिस्तान में obviously हमारे region में चीजें late आती हैं, but the way digital is मतलब gearing up, we have platforms like Naya Daur, and even Mango Bars are
Yeah,
one of those
yeah,
OG platforms, and English platforms are emerging as well.
yeah,
And I see on Instagram कि छोटी छोटी reels आ रही होती हैं on different platforms, different podcasts.
yeah, yeah.
And so definitely, right, there is a future for journalism. ये तो मतलब journalism नहीं, but digital world का एक future तो है. And then we saw Khan साहब भी एक podcast पर आ गए with like some of the famous podcasters as well, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that where do you draw that line? क्योंकि आजकल की दुनिया में if people like Junaid Akram are interviewing Khan Saab on a digital platform. Now, Junaid Akram is not a journalist, right? But he's basically doing what a journalist is supposed to do. वो TV पे बजाय वो podcast पे कर रहे हैं. So where do you draw the line between a content creator, a PR professional, and a journalist? क्योंकि I feel like all three of them have been converged now, like the age we are living in.
For sure, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like new media is all about giving access to everyone. अब citizen journalism का concept बहुत ज़्यादा है. Like even at my workplace, we recently had a project where we were supporting citizen journalists in Gilgit Baltistan and Azad Jammu Kashmir. And obviously, you know, these people have not had a very उनको कोई journalism की training उस तरह से नहीं मिली है. They've just started. उनको gaps नजर आए रिपोर्टिंग में, ठीक है, तो उनको लगा कि जी आजाद जम्मू कश्मीर या गिलगित बल्तिस्तान को उस तरह से मेन स्ट्रीम मीडियाज में रिपोर्टिंग या मेन
नहीं
स्ट्रीम
हो रही.
चैनल्स पे या इन जगहों पे उनकी उनके बारे में रिपोर्टिंग नहीं हो रही. किसी ने टूरिज्म के लिए अपना प्लेटफॉर्म खोल लिया है. दे आर शोइंग गिलगित बल्तिस्तान न्यू लाइट. Some people are raising issues in their like अपनी community के issues they're raising, you know. So I personally think it's great. Honestly, this is what, like अगर आप एक journalist हैं तो ये आपको इतना ज़्यादा competition इस तरह से देता है कि you have to get your act together. Like
कि हर
आप
वक्त
कोई उल्टी
content आ रहा है.
हाँ,
हाँ,
and आप
that's.
कोई उल्टी सीधी बात नहीं कर सकते आप, because people are watching, like they are
Hmm.
watching you at all times. तो आप जो है, you know, पहले ये होता था कि you give them, you are the one giving people information and not the other way around. But now it's like a back and forth loop. जिस तरह से जो है वो crowdsourcing का एक concept है. You even BuzzFeed has done that a lot. Audience
Yeah.
क्या कहते हैं उसको, user generated content
Yeah,
basically.
user generated
ठीक है,
content.
user generated content crowdsourcing. So now it is actually a great theme. It is actually like a theme that's emerging कि भाई आपने अपनी audience को involved रखना है. I can't recall this media outlet. It was a Dutch media outlet. I don't know if
Um,
I can't recall the name. So उनके रिपोर्टर्स ये करते थे कि ड्यूरिंग द प्रोसेस जब रिपोर्टिंग कर रहे होते थे तो वो अपनी एक एक चीज जो है कि अब ये हो गया, वो हो गया, वो अपनी अपने अपने मेंबर्स के साथ. सो वो मेंबरशिप मॉडल पे बेस्ड था. दैट व्हाट वाज इट्स नेम.
इनका मेन तो NOS है, लेकिन that's public, that's like
No,
the
no, no,
biggest
no, no, no,
news
no,
for the
no,
lens.
no, 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 no. It was anyway. I'll find the name.
Yeah,
So वो उनके रिपोर्टर्स जो हैं वो कॉन्स्टेंटली अपने अपने मेंबर्स को, अपने ऑडियंस को एंगेज रखते थे कि अब हमने ये किया, अब हमने ये किया. They're very transparent about, and they did not believe in the fact that journalists की कोई ओपिनियन नहीं होती, कि
hmm.
journalists just have to
Hmm.
do it. every person has their own opinions. You just have to be transparent about them. So they were all about transparency. और उन्होंने पूरा इस तरह का एक revolutionize किया and a lot of media outlets. अगर आप नीमन लैब या अमेरिकन प्रेस इंस्टीट्यूट उनकी आप if you sign up for the newsletters, you see that this is a very emerging theme. Like a lot of media outlets are picking on it now because there's no other way around it. आपने अपनी उन audience को साथ लेके चलना है, so you have to be take them into confidence. आप उनके साथ ट्रांसपेरेंट होंगे, आप उनको बताएंगे कि दिस इज माय रिपोर्टिंग प्रोसेस, दिस इज व्हाट आई एम डूइंग, एंड आई फील इट्स ग्रेट कि अगर एंड ऑनेस्टली एक जर्नलिस्ट अगर इमरान खान की पॉडकास्ट करता है, गोइंग बैक टू इट, तो वो एक बहुत बड़ी कंट्रोवर्शियल सी चीज बन सकती थी, बिकॉज देन a journalist can be accused of being the pro PTI, pro PMLN, yeah, right?
बिल्कुल ऐसे
So so it helps कि कंटेंट क्रिएटर जो है एक न्यूट्रल बंदा है, जिसकी कोई खास उस तरह से जो है वो जर्नलिस्ट नहीं है. It just helps, I think. And I think इन्होंने आपस में बड़ी अच्छी एक बाउंड्रीज अपने लिए बना ली है कि हम ये कर लेंगे तो फिर आप ये कर लें, and if we just, I feel like if we focus more on these collaborations or on these as you said कि उनको थोड़ा सा assimilate करें, उसके बारे में बातचीत करें, conversations करें कि जी हम ये कर रहे हैं, हम content creators ये कर रहे हैं. So I think that could lead to so many wonderful like collaborations and just basically innovation in journalism. So yeah, I personally think that this is great. Honestly, I don't think you have to have boundaries now because social media has permeated our lives. Everyone can be.
boundaries तो मतलब ये तो बहुत बात की बाउंड्रीज है. मुझे सोशल मीडिया ने ज्योग्राफिकल बाउंड्रीज भी खत्म कर दी है, राइट? लाइक मतलब अब तो कोई वो राय नहीं है कि आप यहाँ के हैं या आप यहाँ के हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम लाइक लीगल पेपर वर्क एंड एवरीथिंग. But yeah, coming on to that point, I want to go back to your academic journey and ठीक है, LUMS हो गया, then Fulbright scholarship, and then you went to New York, and New York is still, I think it still is the publishing capital of the world. लेकिन आप किताबों और newspapers की बजाय आप उसको digital publishing capital of the world भी कह सकते हैं. And for someone like me who always wanted to go to New York, just by the way, but I hopefully one day. But the thing is that how do you when you're in a city like New York and you're competing with the whole world, right? एक तरह से when it comes to publishing and creating content, जो वहाँ का एक tonight shows वाला पूरा सा scene है, फिर you have the New York Times और फिर एक पूरा system है वहाँ पे, right? But as someone like you from Pakistan, like how did you sort of प्रोफेशनली भी एक कल्चर शॉक तो होगा. मतलब जियो न्यूज और एआईवाई से अगर आप न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स की बिल्डिंग को देखोगे तो आप कहोगे कि मैं लाइक वेयर वाज आई एंड वेयर, मतलब एक हिट करता है ना आपको कि यार लाइक मैं डू आई इवन डिजर्व टू बी हियर और नॉट, लाइक व्हाई एम आई हियर, लाइक क्या सीन है इधर का?
I think so personally I wouldn't say कि because honestly मैंने कभी खास न्यूज रूम में काम नहीं किया. मैंने Megawas is not a newsroom. Then the places that I worked where they were not exactly those fast-paced newsrooms that you're talking about. So I don't think I'm the best person to answer this in that way. But obviously I mean आप यहाँ पे अपनी चीजें देखते हैं, फिर आप वहाँ पे देखते हैं. So यहाँ पे the kind of जो मेरी डिग्री थी उससे exactly उससे related तो मुझे जॉब obviously यहाँ नहीं मिली. Because we don't have many jobs, we don't have those basically हमारी जो डिग्री थी ना, उस a lot of people they go into these bridge roles कि आप जो है वो you're working on building new products, it could be editorial products for a news outlet, या आप उनके लिए user testing कर रहे हैं, या आप उनके लिए you're trying to see how to make revenue diversification पे थोड़ा बहुत काम हो गया, stuff like that. These are the kind of things that are not usually I think anyway. So so आपके काफी सारे उस तरह के ब्रिज रोल्स वाली चीजें जो हैं वो आपको यूएस में बहुत like crazy amount of jobs थी उससे related कि वो इस तरह की चीज ढूंढ रहे हैं. They're looking for a person for their audience engagement team. Audience engagement is a thing जिस पे कोई यहाँ पे काम है सच नहीं करता. आप social media person रखते हैं, they will do all the audience engagement. You don't talk to your audience. Social listening
demographics को बिल्कुल नहीं देखते कि हमें कौन सा gender देख रहा है, कौन सा age group देख रहा है. मतलब वहां पे तो ऑडियंस को राइट विंग और लेफ्ट विंग में भी वो डिफरेंशिएट कर लेते हैं कि फॉक्स कौन देख रहा है, और मतलब न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स कौन पढ़ रहा है and all of that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the US itself in मामले इस मामले में तो even when it comes to podcasting, मतलब even यहाँ पे भी जो मैंने थोड़ा सा एक्सपीरियंस किया यूरोप के अंदर भी, they are nowhere near the US podcasting scene. मतलब वहाँ का जो एक
Absolutely.
कंटेंट बनाने का सीन है और वहाँ की जो स्पीड है, लाइक यहाँ पे ना आप
Yeah,
हफ्ते
but you
में,
have to.
या
But we have to understand, like, actually, would you give me a minute? My battery is dying, so I
yeah,
need to plug
sure,
it in.
sure, sure. I'll
Just
just
give
pause
me
it.
a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah. What we एक
yeah.
second. What we were talking about the US का scene, and you had a point. Okay, US इतना आगे
Yeah,
इस
I was gonna say कि यार US US और पाकिस्तान के आप उस तरह से हम मिला नहीं सकते, compare करना, like I feel
yeah.
like it would be a bit unfair because वो एक बिल्कुल different plane of development पे हैं, हम एक different plane of development पे हैं, and you know अभी since now like I've been working in media development for a year and a half now, and हमारी ground realities बहुत different है. हमारे छोटे इलाकों में जर्नलिस्ट के पास बेसिक रिसोर्सेज नहीं हैं, एंड वहां पे इस तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स सच उनको नहीं है कनेक्टिविटी के या
You're muted, Momina. I think वो गलती से mute हो गया था. मसला नहीं है.
I
That's
think it
what.
was
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, but like,
Um.
that's what podcast is about, right? Like, we can have anything, we can talk about anything we want to. Like, तो इसमें तो कोई issue नहीं है.
Yeah. I
But
feel
yeah,
like when I start talking, तो मुझे थोड़ा चुप कराना भी मुश्किल होता है. But anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. So it was that obviously वहाँ पे आपको बहुत सारी opportunities मिलती हैं. You meet a lot of stakeholders in the media industry. My degree was like that. Every class we would have a guest speaker that talking about the things that they've done and all of that. So it was just um it was really I really enjoyed my degree. People I know a lot of people who go to NYU's journalism school. They have a lot of issues with it. I feel like it was because our program director, she was really great and she would just fight all the battles on our behalf. The class is really great. A lot of international students. It was a class of 15 people, 13 of them were international students. So, you get to hear their perspectives, how they are innovating in their media industries, the kind of struggles that they are facing, the kind of problems that they have, how we can help each other out. So I think it was just very collaborative, very hands-on, very practical, and I just genuinely really enjoyed every single thing about that.
yeah. But okay, so एक तरफ तो पढ़ाई हो गई. Like, you're in New York, you're studying at NYU, which is
Yeah,
a huge, like, it's spread all over the city and everything. But how
yeah,
does it feel to live, like, living in New York for a year? क्योंकि I've never been to New York, but जो मैंने पढ़ा है या जो मैं ट्विटर पे और जो मैंने पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट्स के भी ओपिनियंस सुने हैं, उसमें भी मुझे एक, आई नो देयर इज लाइक ह्यूज कम्युनिटी ओवर देयर, वो तो मतलब यूएस के अंदर वैसे भी है, बट
yeah.
do you feel like if there were any differences in terms of diaspora? क्योंकि I felt a couple of that. Like, I've been here for like 10 months, but मैंने यहाँ पे नेदरलैंड्स में तो फील किया है कि डायस्पोरा और स्टूडेंट, डायस्पोरा तो चलो डायस्पोरा होता है, बट जो स्टूडेंट क्लासेस हैं उसके अंदर भी मल्टीपल सेगमेंट्स हैं. लाइक आई वोंट से कि वो क्लास बेस्ड
Absolutely,
है, वो क्लास बेस्ड नहीं है,
absolutely.
बट प्रेफरेंस बेस्ड, कन्वीनियंस के तौर पे. लाइक, so there's this what I've heard के एक तो there's this whole scene about Lahore and HSN College and Lahore Grammar School, और लाहौर के जो एक पूरा लम्स का एक सीन, लम्स का भी चलो सीन होता है, but then there's this class from Karachi and they're very different in that way, and then maybe like mingling with each
Yeah.
other, and because obviously आप कम ही होते हो जब आप न्यूयॉर्क जैसे शहर में पढ़ोगे, आप ज्यादा तो नहीं होते. So how was that experience with Pakistani students and obviously the international students as well? How did that thing go?
Yeah, personally, I hear you, and I think LUMS में तो इस तरह की चीजें चल जाती हैं कि कराची का एक people और का एक and all that.
हाँ,
It's understandable. But I would personally, not to judge anyone, but I would personally find it unfortunate that you are in New York and you are still sort of relying on these cliques and these factions or understanding, after big children, small circles. I would just find all fine. People
yeah,
try to set up different comfort zone of that. But I would personally find it very unfortunate. So I did have two Pakistanis in my class, but the rest everyone else was international students. And since happens all 3 semesters. So my degree was 3 semesters long. In the first semester we had all 3 classes together. The second semester we had 2 classes together. Third we had at least 1 class together. So we were just together, and that sort of really helped with the bond that we built. Like I made some really close friends. I wasn't hoping to be very honest, but just brilliant, amazing people. We're working on the same things, and this is my first time interacting with people who actually work in journalism.
Yeah.
They understand. They work in all these big newsrooms, so you get to see that in person, in real life, and you get to talk to them at a completely different level because these are your friends as well now, as well as your class fellows. So I personally think I really enjoyed all the friends that I made. As such, मुझे कोई उस तरह, like I'm sure in the Fulbright cohort थोड़ा बहुत the politics surrounding वो कहाँ का है या ये कहाँ की है या all that. I don't
अच्छा,
know
ये
for
होता
sure.
है Fulbright cohort के अंदर, like
I maybe I've heard things like utte utte, but whatever that happens, it's just life. There is no life without drama, obviously.
yeah,
There's no big deal. So obviously थोड़ी बहुत इस तरह की होती थी. New York में भी थोड़ी बहुत I have but I personally I would never like इतना कुछ explore करना है, so many things to do, so many people to meet, like taking a time to so I think a lot of people, like even at the start में तो पता भी है, we have to give people credit for it. I think people just grow up eventually. आप बाहर you're living in another country and you're all going through the same things. So you realize कि छोटी-छोटी petty चीजें probably. I don't know if I'm answering the question, but
that's I think that's fair enough because जहाँ पे भी डायस्पोरा होता है, जहाँ पे भी let's say देसी students होते हैं, they have their own, क्योंकि वो different background से आ रहे हैं, वहाँ पे एक बड़ा ही entirely different background है, and then they have to navigate through all of that. But yeah,
I think that
नहीं, you continue.
No, absolutely, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. यही चीज है कि आप भी देखते हो कि they some of the ways maybe they are reacting has to do with the transition, or has to do with like when you're New York is a very very hard city to live in. Like Fulbright आपको अच्छा खासा stipend देता है, so for financially आप थोड़े से save होते हो, but it's very very hard city to live in, right? And if you don't have a community, then it gets really hard. You're very alone there. So I am very very glad कि मेरे साथ बहुत सारे Pakistanis थे, and I made some lifelong wonderful friends. But at the same time, अगर कुछ इस तरह की चीज हो भी रही होती है, I think diaspora आप देखते हो, but I think it's just transition manifesting itself in different ways. Everybody deals with it differently, और फिर आप उनको देखते हो how they grow as people during that time, and it's just I personally think like मैं जो हूँ ना personally as a human being, like मुझसे ज़्यादा I wouldn't dwell on these things. So शायद मैंने उसको शायद इस तरह से observe as such probably नहीं किया. But अगर मुझे कहीं लगता था कि चीज़ complicated हो रहा है, I tend to remove myself from situations like that.
Yeah, I think something else I want to talk about, और इस पे इतनी बात नहीं होती, but मुझे अभी लोग like जो लोग देख रहे हो probably कहेंगे कि मैं बहुत एक elitist argument दे रहा हूँ, but I've experienced it myself कि जब हम लम्स में थे और हम चाहे जो भी डिग्री करें, लेकिन लम्स की हमारे लिए एक तो एक विद इन पाकिस्तान होता है ना कि ठीक है लम्स चले गए, तीर मार लिया हमने, दैट्स ओके, दैट्स फाइन, बट जो हमारे लम्स के 4 साल थे, मैंने फील करा है कि मुझे ग्रेड स्कूल के अंदर उन 4 सालों ने बहुत हेल्प करा इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्योंकि आई डिड कंपेयर माई सेल्फ विद पीपल फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड स्टडिंग इन द सेम क्लासरूम एज मी, but LUMS did teach us some or made us like go through a lot of stuff जो हमें आगे जाके काम आता है. Like, did you feel that way? Like, do you really feel that LUMS was that important for your academic journey so far?
I think academically though it was alright, because as I said मुझे economics खास interest नहीं था, and I did struggle with it, but political science is fun, and a lot of I mostly enjoyed taking elective courses more than my
I did that as well.
Major.
Yeah, I did that as well.
Major to definitely I think that was a great thing that LUMS offered, and just meeting so many people from so many different backgrounds, and honestly मेरे लिए न्यू ईयर कल्चर शॉक नहीं था, मेरे लिए LUMS बहुत बड़ा कल्चर शॉक था, because So I think, yeah, it does. It did give me a lot. But I think, like, I would never deny that. I still love the time I spent there. I look at it very fondly. But I personally think my life really started when I left LUMS. You don't realize the kind of bubble that you're in academically
बिल्कुल
and
बिल्कुल
socially. And I met such amazing, wonderful people after I graduated, through workplaces, through mutual friends. And आपको realize होता है कि the world is your oyster after you left LUMS. कि oyster
yeah
हमें unknowingly अपने आप को वहाँ confine किया हुआ था.
yeah
So I personally think like I really enjoyed my time there, but I have enjoyed my life afterwards a lot. But mostly that's also because आप जब थोड़े बड़े होते हैं आपकी चीजें और जब समझ आती हैं, so LUMS में तो हम बच्चे थे सारे. But definitely LUMS is a great place. But I don't think LUMS is the only place in Pakistan
yeah
that sort of offers that
that's true
experience. I've had friends from a lot of different universities in Pakistan. Fulbright cohort में इतनी different universities से लोग थे. So I think LUMS can tend to make it a personality trait sometimes.
yeah
And sort of आपको I don't think that it is coming from a malicious place. तुमको लगता है कि LUMS is better or than other universities. But I think personally, at the risk of sounding a little bit obnoxious, but I feel like it also comes from a place of ignorance as well.
ignorance
Like
की
they really don't see life beyond LUMS.
हाँ
And
हाँ ये भी
आपको
है
रियलाइज होता है कि आपको खास तो चीज नहीं है, स्पेशल नहीं है, आप दुनिया में बहुत क्रेजी चीजें हो रही हैं. And you just got lucky कि आप I mean LUMS is a great place. It is great environment. Like आपको लगता है कि आप separate from the rest of the country
Pakistan
हो, so that is
जी
a better. Yeah, तो वो थोड़ा
yeah
सुकून है obviously mentally. I'm not denying that.
yeah
But I just feel like sure it gave me a lot, but I think a lot of other things gave me a lot more, honestly.
yeah that's yeah I kind of agree with that I just want to ask one more question about New York मैं बहुत ज़्यादा New York पे insist कर रहा हूँ but there's just
No,
one more
it's
question
fine.
क्योंकि
Yeah.
for someone like me एक तो होता है ना कि आप एक चीज पहले आपने एक शहर देखा नहीं होता फिर जब आप वहाँ चले जाते हो फिर आप कहते हो अच्छा ठीक है देख लिया सही है like just people fantasize about Paris, New York, London and all these big global capitals of the world. Would you live in New York in the longer term अगर आपको कभी chance मिले? Do you think New York is that kind of a
Absolutely.
city?
Absolutely.
Because
Obviously.
I've heard
I will
different
go back in a
opinions.
heartbeat.
I've heard
I
different
will go
opinions
back in a
about it.
heartbeat.
I know a lot of
So as
people
I
in the
said,
US जो छोड़ के Houston इधर उधर right left हो जाते हैं वो न्यूयॉर्क में नहीं रहते.
yeah, I think personally मेरा experience जो है वो एक तो में मुझे वहाँ कमाना नहीं पड़ता था, ठीक है, मैं वहाँ बस पढ़ने
हाँ
गई थी, वो भी
हाँ
obviously degree कोई इतनी खास तरह से it was intense, but I would still get time to
yeah
explore these things. And New York is an endless city. Like मैं वहाँ 1.5 साल रही थी और उसके बावजूद I think मैंने आधी शहर तो शायद देख भी नहीं पाई मैं,
हाँ
So it was very hard city to live in. Initially मुझे बहुत मसला मुश्किल हुआ था because एक देसी खातून आप निकले. Although I used to think I was a very strong independent woman, but the city overwhelms you. It's just the first 10 days I was crying nonstop. Like what has happened?
does that happen because you're from Pakistan or does that like amongst Desi crowds or generally
No, I think the city itself is very hard. और हम काफी pampered और sheltered होते हैं, अपने पापा के साथ रहते हैं, हमारा ख्याल रखते हैं, हमें खाने पीने को देते हैं, हमें कोई खास. जब आप अकेले रहते हो आपको रियलाइज होता है कि कितनी सी छोटी छोटी चीज you have to do yourself. And it gets addictive, honestly. Living alone, conquering a big city like that, it grows on you. And
yeah
it's so powerful.
I think
So
it has its pros and cons मतलब living alone
absolutely,
yeah
just like
it's
any other place.
yeah
But I value my independence so much now. Like it is a thing that I hold. That is the most precious to me at the moment. I would say, like my independence. And New York gave me that. I would say, like it was the thrill of making this hard city my own in my own ways, and finally accomplishing that, and falling in love with the city in the meantime. So I think it has to vibe with your personality. So New York, just like any other city, is also a city at the end of the day. And अगर एक city के साथ आपकी vibe नहीं मिल रही, तो नहीं मिल रही. Certain people like हर कोई different होता है, उनको different environments पसंद है, and a lot of people don't like New York because, as I said, वो काफी lonely भी हो जाता है. I was lucky, I had a lot of friends there, जो पाकिस्तान से थे, और मेरी class के लोग भी थे, so I was always occupied and just, and there were a lot of things to do, and I am the kind of person who likes like the challenge. हाँ मुझे थोड़ा challenge दें ताकि मैं इसको accomplish करूँ, whatever, right? So मेरी personality से I think वो काफी vibe कर गया. But I know, like, I have a couple of friends who did not enjoy New York, like, and I understood that. Obviously, I could not relate to it, but I understood it. हर किसी को वो नहीं पसंद. So obviously you would hear different opinions. So it's such a huge city. So many people live there, and so many people have visited it. So it's like the ultimate place to go, whatever, the greatest renowned and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I think it has to do with your personality. I personally think I absolutely enjoy it. Just so much.
You're originally from Islamabad, right?
I'm not. I am originally from Okara. I studied there till like FC, then I went to LUMS.
Okay. And now you're in
Lahore.
Lahore,
I'm here for work.
Yeah.
I moved here for work.
Yeah, I feel like थोड़ा सा मैं like वो करूँगा क्योंकि like I grew up in Karachi. I've lived in Karachi all my life, but I feel like Karachi,
I love Karachi.
when you live in a city of, let's say 30-35 million है, जितना भी documented मिला के Karachi है, and then here the city I am in right now is like 180,000 with 60,000 students, right?
Quiet town.
It's quite center में तो quiet नहीं है, मैं center में रहता हूँ, but the thing is कि for someone like from Karachi, like I have my Indian friends जो मतलब let's say Bombay से हैं या इन शहरों से हैं, and then you come to this, right, बिल्कुल सुकून, बिल्कुल quiet, white picket fence वाली जो life है, but if you're in New York and it's so fast itself as a city, do you feel like मतलब ये बहुत subjective है, but इतने fast city में रहने से do you feel like it compels you to wake up every day and just do something productive, or sometimes it feels like यार अब बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया, I can't keep up with the city? Like, did you ever felt that?
Yeah, I would say I have had the best of times, but also the worst of times. That's like multiple breakdowns in a day, because the city does get so overwhelming. Just sitting on the subway, आपको realize नहीं होता, but आप इतनी vibes absorb कर रहे होते हो बैठ के, आप इतना कुछ absorb कर रहे होते हो. By the time you get home, you're like, I've done nothing, but you're exhausted anyway.
आप mentally आपने इतने किस्म के लोग देख लिए होते हैं.
Karachi is like that too, right? So
Karachi,
Karachi is
like
my next destination, honestly.
Yeah.
Karachi is my next destination.
But
because as I said, I love big cities. Like I miss the thrill of living in a big city जहाँ हर चीज chaotic है. So I want to go to Karachi.
Karachi is that city. हमारे पास बस public transport इतना अच्छा अब नहीं है, लेकिन अगर कराची में कोई metro जैसा public transport कल को अगर आ जाए, आ गया है, because I was going through, I haven't read the whole thing, but I was going through this book or collection of pictures, I guess, or something like that, Lahore by Metro. And वो उसमें जो वो छोटे moments हैं metro bus के जो उन्होंने capture किए हैं, कराची में आप उसको 10-fold कर सकते हैं. Like आपको not only Pakistanis, you'll find at least 10 to 15 ethnicities from all over the world in Karachi. Like I know areas in Karachi जहाँ आपको नाइजीरिया, केनिया के लोग मिलेंगे, और areas in Karachi जहाँ आपको फिलीपींस के लोग मिलेंगे, या आपको मतलब it doesn't end, right? And yeah, that's something that I miss when I'm in grad school. That's something I miss living in a big city. But
I think New York maybe it doesn't end. Like it's just you see more brown people than white people, and
I think the Indians are taking over the US, right? बस वो मतलब बस उन्होंने नाम के लिए छोड़ दिया है, but Indians, Pakistani.
I think हमें ऐसे लगता है कि Indians बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, but that's also because literally they're 1 billion.
Yeah.
दुनिया की आबादी 7 billion है, जिसमें से 1 billion Chinese हैं और 1 billion Indians हैं, तो naturally they're spread all over the world.
जाएंगे, right? Like, and
naturally they're spread all over the world. आपको पाकिस्तानी से बहुत मिलेंगे क्योंकि हमारी आबादी कम नहीं है. So I think it has to do with their populations and everything. But also because हम लोग थोड़े काफी I think driven होते हैं, हमें निकलना होता है अपने मुल्क से थोड़ा सा शायद.
Yeah, but ये भी एक हमारा factor है. But yeah, we're almost close to the 1 hour mark. I'm not sure कितना हमारे पास time है, but थोड़ा सा अगर हम बस towards the end जा रहे हैं, And I just want to come back to journalism itself, because I'm sure a lot of people who are interested in this profession might be watching this. Would you I really want to talk about monetizing your degree का जो पूरा हमारा element है कि अगर अच्छा ठीक है आपने journalism कर लिया, basically आपने master of arts कर लिया, आप अगर आप किसी को बोलो, I'm not sure पाकिस्तान में उसका, लेकिन as a guy like यहाँ पे when someone asks, वो मुझे diaspora का कोई पाकिस्तानी इंडियन बंदा बोलता है कि आप क्या कर रहे हो, और मैं उसको बोलता हूँ मैं मास्टर ऑफ आर्ट्स कर रहा हूँ इन मीडिया, तो वो मुझे यही कहता है ये करके क्या करोगे, मतलब आपने क्या हामिद मीर बनना है, आपने क्या करना है ये करके, राइट? Because there's this thing with brown, I can speak for brown men, that is engineering, sciences, medicine, AI, IT, Silicon Valley and all of that, right? मतलब आप इंडिया में IIT से पढ़ के डायरेक्ट आप अमेरिका आ जाते हो, सैन फ्रांसिस्को. So how do you navigate that thing when you come back to your country, or even when you're abroad, and when you hear educated diaspora people, they're settled in their life, living abroad, living in a secular democracy so called, लेकिन they ask you these very weird
Your strong opinions.
WhatsApp uncle questions, वो आपसे पूछते हैं कि आप आर्ट्स पढ़ के क्या करोगे, या इससे अच्छा तो प्रॉपर्टी लेके रख देते DHA में, या समथिंग लाइक दैट, राइट? लाइक बिकॉज़ आई एम हियर ऑन पार्शियल सेल्फ फाइनेंस, सो मुझे वो भी सुनने को मिलता है कि पैसे क्यों खर्च करें और दैट. सो बस उस पे हम एंड कर सकते हैं कि व्हाट्स योर ओपिनियन अबाउट दैट, how do you navigate that, like when you're back home?
Yeah, I think I stopped paying attention to what people said after I went to LUMS, because I am from a city called Okara, and a lot of my teachers were really disappointed when I quit studying for MCAT. तो वहाँ से मेरा जर्नी तो ये वाला शुरू हो गया था कि मुझे मेरे literally I used to be
rebellious
like a,
journey शुरू हो गई थी.
not praising myself, क्योंकि
Yeah.
आप क्या ही कर रहे हो, आप रट्टे ही लगा रहे होते हो mostly, and I was good at
Yeah.
rattafying things. So like I was a star child, I was a star kid for them. So they would tell, like I heard people say कि जी वो बाकी नीचे वाली classes को बताते थे कि do not follow in Momina's footsteps.
अच्छा आप
She
खराब हो
does
जाओगे
not know
लफ्ज
what
जाके,
she's doing.
बिगड़
She
जाओगे.
does not know what she's doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people also told my father कि भैया अपनी बेटी को लांस भेजना है, क्या हुआ है, तो उन्होंने कहा I will deal with my daughter myself. Why are you?
Yeah.
So I think I was lucky in that sense. Like my dad sort of stood up for me in that way. उसके बाद I literally when I just feel like बहुत शर्म लगेगा अगर मैं कहूँगी, but I think once you start having fun with what you're doing in your life and you start understanding कि जो आप कर रहे हैं, जो लोग उसको इतना बड़ा हब्बा बना लेते हैं, इतना बड़ा मसला बना लेते हैं, वो ये नहीं है. And I think when you're really secure in what you're doing, आपको पता है कि मैं चाहे मुझे पैसे शायद थोड़े से कम मिलते हो as compared to the rest of the fields, चाहे मेरा काम इनको समझ आ रहा है या नहीं. I think after a point you have to make your peace with the fact that not everyone will understand what you're doing. And vice versa. Like मुझे नहीं पता कि एक इंजीनियर क्या काम करता है, ये कंप्यूटर वाला बंदा wow, I sound like, what do I sound like? But you know, somebody जिसने CS किया हुआ है, उसकी क्या जॉब है, या मुझे नहीं पता, मुझे बिजनेस वालों का भी नहीं पता वो क्या करता है. I will never understand what they're saying, and honestly I might not even be interested, you know. And vice versa, people will probably not be interested in what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing. I like it, enjoy it. I know I'm making a difference, and that's good enough for me, you know. Like अगर मुझे I finally feel like कि मैं अपनी career के उस point पे हूँ जहाँ मुझे लगता है कि यार this thing I like, this thing I want to do, this thing I want to explore, you know, more. So अब कोई मुझे इसके बारे में कुछ कहेगा भी तो मुझे कोई खास अब कोई खास इस तरह से नहीं कहता, you know, because I feel like I'm अपने demeanor से भी थोड़ा सा you know, when you talk about your work, they know, okay, you take it seriously, you know what you're doing. So they will not probably, but obviously I understand it's a journey that you have to take. Not everybody is like born with this, कि भाई हाँ मैं आप मुझे कुछ नहीं कह सकते, whatever, it doesn't impact it. Obviously we don't live in a vacuum, हमें चीजें affect करती हैं. But I just feel like you have to understand that nobody will, and not everyone will understand what you're doing, and it's not always because उनको कोई आपसे मसला है या I feel like people genuinely don't understand.
I feel like उनको समझाना इतना मतलब I don't blame them. I've had very weird interactions with diaspora here. हालांकि इतना है नहीं, but I've had very अभी ये पूरा political scene यहाँ पे हो रहा था, like पाकिस्तान में हो रहा था obviously, but उसके ripple effects तो हर जगह जाते हैं. So I was in this before Eid. I was at this place and वहाँ पे बात हो रही थी, and they're like, I'm talking about like microbiologists and scientists and मतलब वो full HEC मतलब उस तरह के level के लोगों की बात कर रहा हूँ जिनकी डिग्री के मुझे स्पेलिंग भी नहीं आती होगी, right? But when they started talking about arts, let's say, or politics, और हमारे इर्द-गिर्द क्या हो रहा है, so their understanding is very limited. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं लम्स गया हूँ तो मुझे ये चीज़ों के बारे में पता है, but मेरा एक शौक था, right? And I feel like आपने भी probably experience करा होगा कि हमारे यहाँ a lot of people, they don't know about humanities in general, how people are, how their backgrounds are, culture किस तरह के हैं. They're very linear in their life because at the end of the day, brown people in the West, they are just here to make money, send the same money back home, and then probably retire and probably go back home.
Yeah, but I also, honestly, Shreya, I also understand that, you know, you have to see the ground realities of the country. Like, बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पे, when they go abroad, a lot of the reasons involve financial reasons because literally उनको अपना यहाँ पे जो आप inflation देखते हैं, जब तुम्हारे like I live in Islamabad on my own, obviously, because I'm here for work. So मुझे पता है कि कितने खर्चे हैं, बिजली के खर्चे हैं, पानी के, गैस के, what not. आपके पास पैसे नहीं बचते हैं, and whatever you earning it goes away. अब दो चीजें अपने लिए करो अगर आपके पैसे खत्म हो जाएंगे. So I understand. I honestly understand. I feel like हम इतने मुख्तलिफ, like हमारा, I think economically, it makes sense that people go only to earn money, so they want to invest in degrees that will earn them money.
Yeah.
उनको शायद journalism या media studies में पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे. So I think you and I probably, alhamdulillah, maybe we're luckier in that sense कि जी उस तरह की financial responsibility. So I'm the third child. मेरे ऊपर इस तरह से responsibility नहीं है, ठीक है? And so but I understand if it's the first child, they have to sort of do something for the family. They take it upon themselves.
वो pressure उनके ऊपर I think सारी जिंदगी उन पे pressure रहता है, but
absolutely. So I understand that.
Yeah, I'm just we're about to end. I'm sorry, I'm taking a bit more than an hour, but
no, that's okay.
I want to talk about I don't know, there's this thing known as, मैं उसको एक guilt factor बोलता हूँ क्योंकि I really like to observe diaspora and people around me, not even from Pakistan, but from our part of the world. And I look at their preferences and their instances. And do you feel like a guilt factor kick in karta hai? You obviously had to come back because you had a contractual obligation with the folks who were sending you to New York. But let's say Erasmus वाले जैसे होते हैं, उनको वापस आने की जरूरत नहीं होती, या और लोग होते हैं. Like एक guilt factor है कि यार क्या, like ठीक है पाकिस्तान रहने देते हैं, अभी न्यूयॉर्क में रहते हैं अगले 5 साल अगर मेरे पास choice हो. And then if you're the eldest child, and then obviously you must have different circumstances than me क्योंकि फिर वो एक family का भी पूरा scene होता है, pressures होते हैं. And then you're kind of living two lives, right? मतलब आपकी न्यूयॉर्क में बिल्कुल different life है, जहाँ पे आप सड़क पे भी चल सकते हो, आप सबवे भी दे सकते हो, आप अपनी मर्जी से अपनी अपीयरेंस खुद आप जज होते हो, बट यहाँ पे आपको for different constraints आपको feel करना पड़ता है. So how do you do that? How do you transition? You go and then you come back. How does that work? This is the last question. Bada deep ho gaya, but like.
No, I hear you. I completely hear. The transition part for me is really hard. Like I had to navigate through so many emotions, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think coming back, it took me a lot of time to readjust because honestly, as a woman, just found so much. Obviously, I'm not saying I'm Muslim.
वहाँ भी मसले हैं, वो गन लेके घुस गया एक बंदा सब के अंदर.
हम अपने बेसिक फ्रीडम्स के लिए इतना फाइट कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Even now, like I'm not saying कि मुझे कोई यहाँ पे इस तरह से फ्रीडम नहीं है, like go out, live alone, as I'm saying, you know. And so obviously, I do realize the privilege that comes with it. But वहाँ पे आप बस एक छोटी चीजें जिनके बारे में यहाँ वरी कर रहे होते हो, आपको होता है शिट मेरे दिमाग में ये जगह भी बन गई, ये जगह भी बन गई. So there's so much space in my head. I can do so many things now. क्योंकि यहाँ पे you're occupied with other things as well. So absolutely the transition is really hard. But I sort of I think telling myself that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be at the moment. That helps a lot. And it also helps that I like my job. It helps that I have my independence. I am navigating life in yet another city. That chills me. That I enjoy that a little bit, although it sounds very quiet for my
Yeah.
place. But why not? Let's experience that as well. So it could be like I tell myself that it is just a break that I am taking from all the things that I knew before, and I am learning new things about myself. And then who knows? Like 4 साल पहले मुझे नहीं पता था I would be at NYU. So I don't know in 2 years where I would be, what things will come my way. So I will just enjoy this time. I will try and make a life for myself. I try and build a base for myself here, and then let's see where it takes me. I'm maybe I'm looking to apply again or see कि क्या होता है and how it plays out. But why not? Like, ये भी जिंदगी ऐसे भी जी के देखते हैं. So those are the kind of things that sort of help.
That's I kind of agree with that, and I just want to say for anyone who's listening, and obviously I'm way behind Momina in terms of my professional and academic journey. But if you want to pursue journalism, or if you want to pursue arts, if you want to just go to some part of the world, live there for a couple of years, so there's no harm in doing it. Obviously, हर किसी के different financial circumstances होते हैं. But I feel like आपके पास हमेशा एक choice होती है to कि आप अपनी जिंदगी को कितना complicate कर सकते हो. And with different backgrounds.
I love complicating my life.
Yeah, and I feel like आप complicate करके then you that's also a challenge, right? अगर आप सुकून से बैठे रहोगे, so that's
उसको resolve करते हैं.
Yeah, that's that kind of like.
I like that. I love
Yeah,
that.
and thank you so much, Momina, for joining us, coming to this platform, and for all those who are watching. This will be available for on all major streaming platforms. And if you want to collaborate with me or support this channel, you can always DM me, Momina ke, or मेरे social links मैं नीचे description में डाल दूंगा. And yeah, thank you so much, and have the great rest of your day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.